Okay, let me take you for a tour of my new 12-inch 2-horsepower radial arm saw from King Industrial. Like all radial arm saws, the first thing that it does is go back and forth. This one's got a 16-inch crosscut capacity. Up here you have a return cable that pulls the saw back when you're done using it. If you come over here, you can pull this lever up and you can move the saw back and forth for 45-degree miter cuts and anywhere in between on both sides. Now if you come here and loosen this off and pull this trigger, you can rotate the head anywhere from 0 to 22.5 to 45 and then all the way to 90 degrees. And that'll allow you to do miter cuts on your cross cut or on your angle cuts. This lever up here allows you to move the saw up and down. Now this lever here, when you pull it out, you can lock the saw in place anywhere along this arm. Then you can come over here, pull the toggle, rotate the blade 90 degrees, and if you pull this lever back here, you can tilt the blade guard all the way forward, lock it back in place, and now you can rip through from this side. And because the blade's turning this way, the board could possibly want to kick back and kick up. So now the bottom side of this guard blade prevents the board from doing that and coming back at you. And you can pull the lever again, turn the blade all the way around the other side, and now you can rip from this side. And when you're ripping from this side, this is an anti-kickback bar here. This little wheel goes in the groove of your cut, and these little legs here are anti-kickback prevention. The saw also has two 4-inch dust ports, one that hooks up to right behind the blade, and one that's hooked up to the saw guard that travels all the way back into the second dust port. Now I'm going to fire it up, you can hear how powerful it is, and then listen because there's a break when it shuts off. The saw will also take up to a 13/16 dado stack. Okay, now radial arm saws have a really bad reputation for being dangerous, and so a lot of people shy away from them and don't use them at all. And I'm not here to disagree. They are dangerous. Do you know what else is dangerous? Pretty much every other tool in my shop. Given the chance, they'll all try and bite your face off. So with radial arm saws, the risk is that as you're cutting, the blade gets a bit too much traction, you're not paying attention, and the saw comes flying back. And if your hand is in the way, it will cut off your grilled cheese eating hand. And from then on, you can only do right-handed high fives. But there's a lot of tools where your biggest risk is kickback, and you have to be vigilant for it. Table saws, miter saws, routers, jointers, shapers, circular saws, mother-in-laws, and chainsaws. You've got to have respect for each one of them, or they will hurt you. But there are some very serious advantages that come with a radial arm saw, from its cut capacity, the angles, how uniformly and predictably they'll travel across this arm, so you can do different types of joinery. The capacity of the saw to go to 45 and all the way to 90 to cut tenons and different types of joinery. So just like any tool, treated right and carefully, they can be safe, but you have to be aware of the risks. I'm really excited to add this one to my shop.